In 1964, a struggling TV actor walked into a Rome office for what he thought was just another audition. Sergio Leone took one look at him and whispered to his assistant, "That's him. That's the face of death." What Leone saw in those 30 seconds would create the most iconic cowboy in cinema history. But the real reason he chose Clint Eastwood was something he kept secret until his dying day. Have you ever had that instant recognition moment where you just knew someone was special? Tell us in the comments about your own first impression stories. And if you want to discover more Hollywood secrets that directors took to their graves, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell, because we're revealing the untold stories behind cinema's greatest legends. In the spring of 1964, Clint Eastwood's career was at a breaking point. Rawhide had been canceled, Hollywood offers weren't coming, and the 34-year-old actor found himself on the edge of a dying career. When his agent told him about it, he didn't hesitate. There's a Western in Italy. The money's not much, but it's better than nothing. At that time, Italian cinema was a joke in America. Spaghetti Western was a mocking term. Serious actors didn't go to Italy, only the desperate did. And Clint was desperate. When he arrived in Rome, the city was hot and noisy. In the taxi heading toward Cinecittà Studios, he realized he couldn't speak Italian and didn't really know what this project was about. He only knew one director's name, Sergio Leone, a name he'd never heard before. Leone's office was small and cluttered. The walls were covered with Italian Western posters, strange-looking cowboy films Americans had never seen. As Clint sat in the waiting room, he went over himself. Clean but inexpensive suit, polished shoes, a few role preparations he'd practiced, standard actor preparation. When Leone's assistant Maria opened the door, she said, "Il maestro will see you now." Even without knowing Italian, he understood the meaning of maestro. This man took himself quite seriously. Sergio Leone was a big man, not just physically. His presence filled the room. Behind thick-framed glasses, his eyes assessed Clint while he held a cigarette in those large hands. He didn't speak. He just watched. Clint stood in the doorway, not knowing what to do. "Mr. Leone," he began, but the director raised his hand. Silence. Exactly 30 seconds. Clint didn't move, didn't look away, didn't get uncomfortable. He just waited. Leone turned to his assistant and whispered something in Italian. Maria's eyes widened. Then Leone looked back at Clint and spoke in English. "Sit down, but first, take off your hat." Clint sat. Leone continued to study him. His face, his hands, the way he sat, as if he were reading body language. "You played cowboys in America," Leone said. Not a question, a statement. "Yes, sir." "Like real cowboys?" Clint paused. It was an odd question. "I hope I was convincing." Leone smiled, but it wasn't a warm smile. "Not convincing, real. There's a difference." The real reason Sergio Leone chose Clint went back to his childhood. Born in 1929, his father Vincenzo Leone was a famous Italian film director. But the event that shaped young Sergio's life was a murder scene he witnessed when he was 10 years old. In 1939, while playing in the narrow streets of Rome, young Sergio had witnessed a confrontation. Two men had faced each other. Little talk, intense tension. One man looked at the other, squinted his eyes, and neutralized him with a single movement. Fast, silent, precise. That man's face had burned into Sergio's mind. Cold blue eyes, lined face, calm demeanor that never rushed. The face of death. For years, Leone couldn't forget that image. When making Western films, he was always trying to capture that moment. The cold reality of real violence, not the glamorized cowboy fantasy that Hollywood portrayed. He had seen hundreds of actors for a fistful of dollars. They were handsome, warm, charismatic, but none had that coldness. Until Clint walked through the door. When Clint stepped into the room, Leone's heart raced. That way of moving, that look, that silence. It was identical to the man from his childhood memory. The same cold confidence, the same economical movement, the same "I don't talk unless I have to" attitude. Americans play with violence, Leone thought. This man lives violence. He watched Clint's hands. They weren't moving. Most actors, when nervous, would fidget with their hands, shuffle their feet, constantly change position. Clint was a statue, but a tension-filled statue, ready to spring into action at any moment. His eyes were important too. When Clint looked around the room, he was checking exits. Maybe he wasn't conscious of it, but he had survival instincts. Leone recognized this because he did the same thing. War children were like that. This man, Leone thought, won't play to the camera will play to him. Leone didn't ask standard questions. Not, tell me about your previous work, or why are you interested in this role? Actor questions. Instead, he conducted strange tests. If someone pointed a gun at you, what would you do? He asked. Clint thought. Depends on the situation. Can I tell if it's serious or a joke? Do I have a chance to escape? Is the gun real? Leone took notes. Most actors would give dramatic answers. I wouldn't be afraid, or I'd fight. Clint was thinking tactically. What does a cowboy believe in? Justice doesn't always win, Clint said. But if somebody doesn't win sometimes, nobody believes. Leone raised his eyebrows. This was philosophy, but dark philosophy. Are you afraid of death? Clint paused. This was a personal question. I'm not afraid, but I respect it. Perfect. Leone had found the answer he was looking for. Leone gave Clint a few pages of the script. The man with no name character didn't talk much, but every word mattered. Clint read the pages and looked at Leone. Why doesn't this man talk? Because he has no one to talk to. Why did he come to this town? Maybe for money, maybe to escape, maybe he just got stranded. Leone smiled. Clint understood the character. He was giving meaning not just to the dialogue, but to the silence. Let's act out a scene, Leone said. You're walking into a bar. There are 4 men there, all want to kill you, but you're stronger. What do you do? Clint stood up. His posture changed. His shoulders tensed, but not excessively. His gaze hardened, but there was no madness. He walked slowly to a corner of the room, leaned against the wall, and surveyed his imagined enemies. First, I figure out who's the most dangerous, he said quietly. Then I focus on him. The others wait. Leone got goosebumps. Clint wasn't acting. He was applying tactics. After the audition ended, Leone was alone with his assistant Maria. What do you think? He asked. Very calm, Maria said. Maybe too calm. People might not like him. They don't need to like him, Leone said. They just need to fear him. That night, Leone thought for a long time. Hollywood westerns made heroes likable. John Wayne smiled, sang songs, played with children. But the real Wild West wasn't like that. Real gunfighters didn't talk much, didn't struggle to prove their strength, didn't try to be charming. Clint had that reality, not fake, real, not performance, lived experience. The next morning he called. The role is yours, he said, but I have one condition. What is it? You won't smile, ever. This man has forgotten how to smile. You'll forget too. Years later, in 1989, as Leone lay on his deathbed, he told this story to his biographer, Christopher Frayling. But not the whole truth. Do you want to know why I chose Clint? He asked in a weak voice. Of course. Because I saw my father's killer in him. Frayling was shocked. What do you mean? Leone smiled. My father didn't die a natural death. He was killed in 1940 during the war in a confrontation. We never found his killer, but I never forgot his face. Cold eyes, hands that never hurried. Someone who didn't like to talk. Did Clint resemble him? No, Leone said. Clint was him. The same type of man. The same coldness, the same danger. But this time, in my film, he was on my side. Frayling started taking notes, but Leone held his hand. Don't write this. Let no one know. Clint doesn't even know. Let this stay between us. The truth behind Sergio Leone's choice of Clint Eastwood wasn't just talent. It was the completion of a personal revenge. He was trying to heal through cinema the trauma created by the violence he witnessed as a child, the father he lost, the killer he never found. When he saw that darkness in Clint, he decided to make him the hero of his films. Thus, that cold, deadly figure would no longer be the enemy, but the hero, under Leone's control. In all 3 films of the Man with No Name series, Clint's character was always the same. Spoke little, saw much, killed when necessary. This wasn't coincidence. It was the cinematic version of Leone's childhood fears. And ironically, this character born from Leone's personal trauma affected the whole world. Western films were never the same again. Cowboys no longer smiled, sang songs, or played with children. They became silent, deadly, and mysterious. Clint Eastwood never learned Leone's real motivation. The director shared this secret with only one person on his deathbed and died 3 days later. Frayling kept his word and never wrote this story. Until now. Because sometimes the greatest works of art are born from the deepest pain. And sometimes an actor's casting stems from a survivor's desire to achieve justice with his own hands. What Sergio Leone created with A Fistful of Dollars wasn't just a film. It was the story of a child who, as an adult, recreated his father's killer and controlled him on his own terms this time. That's why Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name looked so real. Because in Leone's eyes, he was a real person, only this time he was on the right side. He was on the east side.
Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video and subscribe if you want videos like this to come. See you in the next story.